Hey friends, this is a scheduled upload. I am still on vacation, and I will be from the 15th of January to the 1st of February. There will be no streams and just a few videos on the channel. Follow me on my social pages for updates, link to that in the description. I'll see you when I get back.
Sp4zie and Plantie.
And welcome to the Q&A. I've got a drink, I'm sitting down, and I'm ready to answer some questions. We're gonna start off straight away with a question from Twitter. @SebaBravo88 asks, I want to start streaming, but I don't know if I have the right equipment and software. When I try streaming, my FPS goes to hell. So I'll just answer this generally, my thoughts upon equipment and when you're starting out with wanting to do something like this. In my honest opinion, the equipment should be something that should help motivate you, but it shouldn't be what you should never think of it as something that you need. So for me, buying equipment was a commitment to this is something that I have to make something out of now. I kind of have to try my bestest and hardest to go about this because I am now investing something in it. And I need to at least get a lot of enjoyment out of it if it's going to be worth it, right? It's the same way as, you know, entertainment. But then also I had at the back of my head, I also want it to become something, hopefully, you know. But that being said, I would recommend you to never think of it as if I only get the equipment, then I'm all set, right? So, for instance, when I started out, I had a mindset that if I were going to do anything, it would have to be at the top quality standards, I guess. Like if I were to do a stream, I would have to be able to stream in full HD with nice frame rate. Right now we're rocking 720p 60 FPS, which is our standard, I guess. And that's a good thing, and the same goes with the videos. Like the quality had to be up there, or I had to at least aim for the highest quality and stuff. But that was just my mindset. There's a lot of successful channels that doesn't have that same mentality. So while quality and stuff is important, the content itself is more important, no matter if it's streaming or if it's YouTubing, right? So use equipment as a boost of getting yourself mentally, you know, into it. But remember that it's going to take you a lot of hard work and figuring out what you're good at or what you can do and finding that little thing that makes it click. And that's what's going to determine if you're successful with it or not, and not the equipment. Let's take a question from the subscriber chat. This is from Emil's. I never get your name right. A while ago, you were doing subscribe games and you drew my name, but I couldn't play. Is there a chance that I get another chance to play with you? Of course there is. There will be in the future as well. I do. Let's talk about subscriber games. I haven't done many subscriber games because I've always been a little bit more like, I don't want that to be the reason why I sub. Like every time I say time to do subscriber games, there are like 20 new subs coming in. And while that's super nice because it supports me directly, it's also, you know, I don't like it to be that you sub just because you get the chance to play. I'd like to be that you sub for the chat and for the, you know, hangaboutness of it, and for the emotes, and for the fact that you want to support me, you know. That being said, I'm sure we can sort that out. There will be more, you know, subscriber games and stuff in the future. Let's take a question from Twitter, @Sp4zie with a 4 instead of an A. This is an interesting one. @OneHealthLeft says, I'm so motivated to make videos, to have fun in streams, but I have almost no time, and I'm tired most of the time. Any tips? I'd say that it'll be really difficult for you if you don't feel like you have the time, and if you feel like you're a person that is tired, right? Because it takes a lot of energy. So that's like the first thing. You probably want to try and get a good sleep schedule going, maybe see if there's something in your diet that you need to sort out, and get that sorted out. And if you have no time, then it's gonna be really hard. It takes a lot of time. Like I usually say in a lot of situations, when people ask me questions about this, in the beginning, when there was like 15 people tuning into my stream and I got like a couple of thousand views on every video I uploaded, I still went and like said no to people who came to me on a Friday night saying like, let's go out, this party, we're inviting you, let's go. I was like, no, I need to stream today because I haven't streamed once this week, and I need to stream this, you know. And I think the commitment there is what is something that you should take with you there. It takes a lot of time and commitment to get somewhere and to find out what you're... I'm losing my voice already. God. Find out what you're good at and find out that, you know, that thing. And if you're low on time, then it's going to be really hard. So I suggest that you maybe try another time in your life when you have more time. Here's one from Affix6 on Twitter. Think you'll ever get back into making champion guides? I remember watching the Jack's guide back when you had 10k subs and it really got me into LoL. That's cool, man. Or woman. Or goat. We'll see. I would never say never. Sometimes I just do a video because I feel like it, you know. The guides, the reason why I particularly stopped making guides is because I did them on a very regular basis, and I felt like, one, I wasn't really qualified for it because, as it turns out, I like just playing the game, having a lot of fun, and not really focusing on the ins and outs. Sometimes I do that when I play ranked, but not all the times. And since the channel was growing a little bit back then, and since it felt like I was sort of trying to define the channel with its growth, I sort of leaned away from the guides because I felt like it wasn't really me, and it wasn't really the content that I wanted a lot of people to come to my channel for, right? So right now, I believe I would go out on a whim and say that the epic moments are probably the main reason why someone found my channel. Or maybe a cool montage, or maybe like something that was on Reddit, right? The lip sync videos, for instance. All of those have one thing in common, and it's humor, I guess, or at least I try to make it humorous. So I'm really happy with that because that's something that I've really enjoyed doing for a long time, even when I wasn't doing videos, when I was doing other things. Humor has always been a part of it. So I was way more comfortable growing the channel in that direction than in the guide direction. And that being said, now when the channel is totally, you know, floating along nicely, and I am not as hesitant as what I do next on it, because I know that I have a core, you know, base of viewers, of you guys who are awesome, that would watch it no matter what it was. You wouldn't be happy with whatever. It will have to be a quality standard there, but you're happy to watch other things and explore a little bit. Then I'm very, you know, open towards doing that. And if I get the urge, like, hey, I've played rek'sai for 300 games now, maybe it would be a good idea if I made a guide on him, because I feel really confident on him. I know the ins and outs, and I know a lot of tips and tricks. Then I would totally do that. Hola, Peter, thanks for subbing. And it's the same way with, like, you know, take the how to win a lost game video that I did. Which got shared around a little bit, which was really cool. That is not a video that I usually do, right? Talk about a ranked game in depth and just like talk about mentality that I have going through the game and like listing it up and trying to make a point. Turns out you guys really enjoy it. And it turns out that it fit perfectly because at the point I was doing a lot of ranked, right? And I felt like I had something to say about it. And I wanted to mix it up. So, yeah, that's how it is with that. I hope that answered your questions. This is a long question from Poop Kirby, but I kind of want to try and answer it. I'll try and read it. Do you think having this many subscribers on Twitch is going to affect the experience of being a part of it? The fact that you get a bunch of subscribers each day, and I've been a part of Subscriber Club for almost 2 years now, and I've loved it a lot, but lately I've been feeling less important and less supportive being a subscriber since there are so many. So to support to talk about the cool dudes, I hope you can give me an in-depth answer. Yes, okay, so I like this question because you can generalize a lot of it, because the same way that I'm going to talk about here sort of like goes on the, you know, YouTube channel as well. Thanks for subbing from Italy with pizza. Welcome to the Bapadaboo. So it's a weird thing, right? Like it's this thing where when you start out, you definitely just want to grow, because if you do not grow anywhere, then you can't make it into a living. So each and every single number at that point is super significant. And while it's amazing that 10 people, random people, want to watch what you do, it's still not enough, and thus the numbers are really important. And then when you get to a point, for me, I think that point was approximately around the time when I left my school and started doing it full time. You get to a point where, you know, the numbers are there. In combination with everything that you do, sponsorships and stuff around it, you can make it into a decent living with a future in it. And, you know, at that point, the numbers become less significant. The growth becomes less significant. At that point, it's more to keep you guys who found your way to me, right? It's more of, if you subbed for a lip sync video, which is a good example because I haven't done them in a while. I am trying, friends, I am trying. LCS starting soon again. Let's hope I get something done there. Then I'm happy with that. Like, to satisfy the guys that, you know, came and wanted to watch something. But it's always going to be that thing, like the way algorithms on the internet usually works on social pages, for instance, YouTube and Twitch, is that if you are doing a good thing and you keep doing that, and whilst also improving, it's sort of all sometimes tends to snowball, right? Which is a great thing, because why not more, right? Why not better? And I'm super happy for it, but at the same time, there is that other side where it's, you know, it's a little bit sad that I can't, for instance, talk to you guys in the same way as I did back when I answered to every single YouTube comment. I think almost all YouTubers start out with answering every comment, because if you're not into that, then you probably don't even start YouTubing. You don't even think of it as something you would want to do. Like, back in the day, I would say, even if it was a statement, a comment, I would say okay. Like I would say, I have read this, thank you for the input, I love this, that is going on here. And then as you get more thousands and thousands of people watching, you can't do that because it gets in the way of you actually making videos, which is why people came from the first place, right? And now I talked a lot about YouTube. Let's switch it over a little bit into Twitch for you, Poop Kirby, and the guys asking. I agree, and I can totally understand that. And unfortunately, the only thing I can say is that if you do not feel like it's as significant anymore, and trust me, it is, for me at least personally, it is very significant that you stay. But if you don't feel like it's the same thing, then you should definitely not subscribe. If it doesn't feel right, you know, and if it doesn't feel like it's as supportive, like, oh, Sp4zie will do fine on his own. Yeah, that is probably true, and then I don't think you should, but I would love it if you would, because that's what makes it cool. And it's a fine balance to strike there, where you're embracing the growth and you're making the most out of it, but at the same time trying to keep that closeness, right? Which at the end of the day is impossible, but you're trying to keep some of it there, right? And I think the subscriber chat, while it's getting bigger and bigger every day, which is awesome, and thank you all the new subs today, for instance, but while it's getting bigger and bigger every day, it's still the smallest of places where I interact with you guys, I think. It's still the place where I actually can reach out to a few of you. I can actually recognize some of your guys' name, you know, if we can get that going. Sometimes when I go to events, someone walks up and like, hey, I'm from the chat. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I remember when you typed this, right? So, yeah, I hope that was an in-depth answer. Chucho1093 from the sub chat. Do you ever see yourself branching out of League of Legends and into something else? Oh my god, you guys are like typing stuff now because you realize he's done with that long question. Go for it. Branching out. Okay, so here's the thing. League of Legends is a huge game. It's amazingly lucky for me. I think that a few things in my career as a YouTuber or whatever has been luck, and I'm very proud and I feel great about that. But the one thing that was luck was that I got into a game that I played in beta when no one cared, and then all of a sudden it became really popular. And obviously, since it's a big game, there's a lot of potential viewership to claim there, right? So that's great. So that was really lucky. And I'm still enjoying it. And now, since it is also my business, I am actually taking steps towards making sure that I enjoy it for as long as possible. For instance, you know, while I could sit and play League of Legends for 7 hours, because I have scheduled time to do that, I sometimes don't, because like I might be better off working on a new layout for the stream, even though I don't really need it, but just not maybe doing League of Legends all the time, right? And I'm doing stuff like taking a vacation, where I'm going for a vacation for 2 weeks, where I'm not just gonna play. I'm not gonna play anything, even though I love playing it. Still, I'm not gonna do it. Because it's really important right now to actually have fun and keep it fun for as long as possible, in my opinion. Because I love League, right? That being said, I sit and play a lot of other games, you know, because I'm a gamer. Right now I'm playing Shovel Knight. I played Destiny a lot when it came out. I play a lot of stuff on my Vita when I am out traveling. I play Hearthstone a lot. Got back into Hearthstone a couple of months back. I play a lot of other games. The one thing that I would say content-wise that you could probably expect, in a sense, is that I will at some point try and make content that is focused on me and the CG having fun in another game. For instance, we talked about earlier Evolve, which is a title coming out this year, which sounds like just a great fun game to play with your friends. And we're a bunch of friends, and you guys love the epic moments because it's about a bunch of friends having fun, right? So I might try and make videos about that in that situation. I also have done the Sp4zie Plays, which obviously was less popular, as to be expected, where I played just random games and made short videos about it. But, you know, as long as I'm having fun in League, I'm gonna keep doing it. And I'm taking good steps to make sure that I have fun for as long as possible. And that's that. But yeah, expect other videos, like the random video of like Titanfall when it came out, you know, or like the Hearthstone video that I did way back, you know, that it happens. How old is Plantie? Asks Mikael on Twitter. He is as old as the channel, which is amazing. It's almost 4 years now, something like that. I can't believe he hasn't, you know, this is the only plant in my life that I managed to keep alive. I guess it's because it's like one of these plants that doesn't really require much more than that you water it sometimes. And then he also always close to me, so I breathe a lot on him. So that's good. All right, let me go through these questions here and see if I found one. How will you go about Season 5 with regards of role, personal resolutions, things you want to improve on, ultimately, what division are you aiming for, asks Mike Sell in the subscribe chat. So Season 5 is going to be interesting. The ranked system in League is only another way for me to enjoy the game for a longer period of time, like we talked about previously. I use the ranked ladder as something else to do when I've played a lot with the CG farts. Not to say that I get bored of them, but you know, sometimes when I played only like fun normals with the CG farts for a long time, I just get that urge that, hey, I wanna try and see if I can win a lot and try and get a lot better with this and that, right? And that's what ranked queues are for. And the brilliant thing is that I can make commentaries of it and I can also make content out of it. So, you know, it might be that I dive right into ranked as soon as it patches. As soon as I get back from my vacation. It might be that I don't touch it for several months. I'm not sure. But in terms of very general, broad swipes here, I am definitely looking to keep myself in Diamond, of course. That is always the goal. Not sure for how far up into Diamond. I don't really care that much. But yeah, Diamond 2, Season 3. Diamond 5, Season 4. ADC, Season 3. AP Mid, Season 4. I think that if I were to play ranked right now, I would play I would play mid and jungle. I am not sure if I would jump into jungle as a main because I'm still having fun, and the main reason that I switched to AP carries was because I was bored of AD carries. So like, you know, I mixed it up. It was not something that I want to make sure I hit diamond on every role every season. I was just like, I wanted to do it. Captain Marcy, hey Sp4zie, what about opening a subreddit for interacting with your viewers and fans? It's a great idea, but I do not think that I'm lacking of ways to interact with you guys. If anything, I'm lacking. I have too many, is what I would like to say. I think the ways that I use the comment section of YouTube, the Twitter feed, and the Facebook, both inbox and the comments there, is pretty okay. I mean, I understand why people tend to be very mad about the YouTube comments, and I get it. I totally do. I get it too on my channel, but I still think that it's working all right, and I still think that I get what I need from it, which is making sure that I, you know, stay in the loop what you guys think, and you know, opening up a Reddit is something that I would only do. I think there is one already, which is just not. I was thinking about it when the YouTube comment system was launched. Do you remember that horror cream? In the end, I realized that if I were to do this, I want to make sure that I do it the right way and make sure that I utilize it for what it is and make it something that works. Because I wouldn't want to send people to an external commenting site if I weren't there and the presence was clear and everything worked out smoothly, right? And then I realized that that would take a lot of time, and that's time that I could spend on making videos instead. And at the end of the day, as it turns out, the videos are not only important for the business module that I guess I have, but it's important because that's everything, right? If I were to stop making videos, what is there left? I think this is something that I made a video on way back when it turned out that I couldn't answer every comment anymore. You guys were all pretty clear to me that it's okay. Would rather have the videos and not fewer videos and more commenting. You know, that's pretty obvious, I guess. But yeah, so probably not. No. J4lol in the subscribe chat. How many hours a week do you put into your work approximately? It's really hard to say because what I do is very tightly merged with what I would like to call my hobby. So computer games and gaming is my hobby. YouTubing started out as a hobby, and then it turned into work. Streaming, same path there, as I did that as I progressed the YouTube channel. And when you do something like that, it's very difficult to say, am I working right now? Or is this not work? For instance, when I sit down on a Monday night and I play 5 games with the Sp4zie farts, we laugh a lot and we just have a good time, I would probably do that even though I didn't have this YouTube channel, because that's what I did before the YouTube channel existed. Sp4zie has been around for that long. But at the end of the day, after that little gaming session, next morning, the first thing I do is I go through the footage and I spend 5 hours more on finding the gems in those footage and maybe coming up with a theme or something that I could work with, and maybe then creating an epic moments and uploading it to the YouTube channel. So seeing it like that, I would, you know, I would say that I was working on the Monday evening because it was essential for what I do. But then again, is it really? So I work a lot. If you see it, is that every time I sit down and game and make a content, that I work way more than I probably should, and than anyone should. But then again, it's so much fun, and it's combined with my hobby. And if you think of it that way, then I work full time, basically. I would say maybe a little bit more than full time, because for some reason I get told this by my personal friends that for some reason I'm stupid and I don't outsource work, which is what they think I should do. And I could totally let more people work for me, you know, help me with layouts, help me with other like internet designs, help me with whatever, you know, help me with editing even. But that's just not gonna happen. I enjoy it too darn much. I enjoy making this Twitch layout that you see. I enjoyed making the end card in the YouTube channel. I enjoyed making a music tune even though I can't. The only places I take help is when I don't know and I don't really think that I'm benefit from knowing. For instance, I'm working on a song right now. Unfortunately, it won't be out until I come back from vacation. I get in close touch with a musician that makes the song for me, and then we can work something out together. Because I can't get into making music because it's a whole other program that would take so much time. It doesn't work, right? Plus, there's so many cool artists that I want to showcase, right? So that's just everybody wins. But in that scenario, I've taken a track that I can use, and I asked Falcon Shield, who is an amazing YouTuber. You guys should check out. This is where you know Falcon Shield is. And I ask him to mix it. So like when I put down the rap and the tracks and like the ads and stuff, I give it to him separately, and he puts it into a program that makes it sound awesome. And that's a good scenario where I take help, but everything else is done myself. So yeah, to summarize the question, I work a lot, but it's because it's my hobby and it's so much fun. If you take away all the things that I would do, even if I didn't have this as a job, then I would work less, but it would still be a little bit more than full time, I think. That's where it's at. Let's take one more good question. Oh, by the way, here's a question like I get a lot from Ekbluff. Why do you call yourself Sp4zie? Is there a story behind that? The FAQ, you need to go to that and check that out. All those questions are answered there. Any tips for small YouTubers who wants to make a living out of it? I am only at 1,500 subs, but I really want to make it a more serious thing and make it my job. Okay, so 1,500 subscribers. That is awesome, by the way. Congrats, good job. This is gonna be so difficult to say because if it's not there, it's just not there. But you gotta love the fact that 1,500 people has clicked that button so much that you could double the amount of work it took to actually get there to do it just again. Like you need to be obsessed about that, and you need to enjoy it so much because it's gonna take so much time and effort and at the end of the day skill. But you don't need to have that in the beginning. You can learn, but yeah. That's the sort of mentality I would believe you need to have to get somewhere, because YouTube changes a lot. Like I would even say that even though I still have a good grasp of what's going on and stuff, the way I grew up on YouTube is going to be a little bit different from anyone who starts out today. Even though I felt like at that point, I felt like it was different from what I was taking advice from. When I asked people or looked at videos talking about this, I felt like they were a little bit old and outdated, right? Warzor, thanks for subbing. Welcome to the... But that's the thing. That's what you need to get into. You need to be the guy that knows what's the next thing's gonna be, or what the next approach has to be, or how you can differentiate yourself from what people do, right? So I grew with League of Legends a lot because of League of Legends got big, and I was there there was a lot of content creators already, but I was still there a little bit earlier than other people. That being said, there's a lot of new content creators that just makes brilliant progress right now, and they're sort of like, you know, popping up left, right, and center, and they're fantastic, and they're just in the process of making it there, which is number 2. Mindset is one thing, time is another thing. There is probably no channel. Some are quicker than others, and some are slower than others, but there's probably not one channel that just all of a sudden goes big and then that's a job right there. That's not how it works. And for some, especially in the past, even before I started, it worked like that because you got viral. Oh, wow. But see, to the people that got viral, I also think that it's sort of like, it's sort of a backhanded favor, because at the end of the day, that means that you don't get that, you know, path there. I'm not saying you don't get the same enjoyment out of it. I'm saying that you might not be as good as what someone browsing YouTube would expect a 1 million plus YouTube channel to have, right? In terms of content quality. There's a lot of, usually, this is a good friend. I browse a lot of videos because it's what I do. But I can usually tell by looking at the thumbnails, the overlays, and 3-4 seconds of 3 random videos on a channel when it was created. Of course, the content kind of gives it away. If it's an old game, then sure, it must have been around for, like, yeah. But if you see a channel that is humongous, like it's big, it's massive, it's like 1 million plus subscribers, and the content is like, what you do then is you go to a video tab and you go like most popular, and you see, oh wow, here's a viral hit that has over 15 million views. Okay, so this is a channel that exploded. It ended up getting a massive amount of traffic, and now it's a job, and it's awesome. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying that that's the person who's sitting there, and the person that went through 3 years of dedication and work and like polishing and realized that I need to get better is probably going to have better content, just, you know, from a critique perspective, I guess. And it's, again, there's nothing wrong with it, but you can't rely on becoming that channel. You can't do it. You just can't. You're going to have to try and make cool videos that people, you know, likes to share. If they hit and they just explode, congrats, man. But that's not something you can rely on. So what you might do is that you have 1,500 subscribers. You might release a video and you get 5,000 views on it. That's amazing. You reached out with that video. Either it was the YouTube algorithm working for you because you uploaded it at the right time with the right tags and stuff, or it was just the amount of shares you got, or it was because it hit Reddit bottom page a little bit. I don't know. But then the trick comes down to, how do you repeat that for not 5 times, not 10 times, maybe 20 times this year is what you have to do in order to keep the growth going, right? And that's just the hard work behind it, and you need to enjoy it, and you need to want to get better, and you need to want it enough. And then number 3, I guess, is very practical, because if you can't commit that time, then you can't do it, unfortunately. For me, it worked out perfectly because I studied a type of studies that gave me a lot of free time to sit down and fiddle around with editing and But if I had a job and a career, or if I wasn't in that scenario where I had a lot of free time that I could put into something creative and interesting, then I could probably not have done it. And it would have taken way longer as well. It wouldn't have taken 3 years. It would have taken 5 years. And 5 years from making something to start making a living out of it after 5 years, that's more than most educations. And, you know, it's difficult. It is very difficult. You have to work for free for a long time if you're going to make it. Thanks for all the nice comments, friends. I'm glad you enjoyed these Q&A sessions, but that is going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Toots!